Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. David Murdock was trying to build a life. David Marshall Murdock was trying to build a life with Lisa Bunce. As you've heard, in 2016, David Murdock lived in Haines City, Florida. And Lisa Bunce would travel from Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, and come to Florida and visit with her family and her friends and stay here. And by happenstance, in February of 2016, both Lisa Bunce and her group of friends and Mr. Murdock and his group of friends happened to be at Cherry Pockets, which is kind of like a fish camp in Haines City. And David Murdock and Lisa Bunce began to talk. They liked each other. They spent, I think it was about a week or so together when Miss Bunce was down from Ohio, forming a relationship, forming a bond. And then they began a long-distance relationship from Ohio to Florida, and Miss Bunce would travel from Ohio to Florida to spend time with both her friends and Mr. Murdock. They started a relationship, a bond, a friendship, a mutual respect for one another. And they fell in love. And eventually they got engaged. And when Mr. Murdock was trying to build this life with Miss Bunce, he wanted to give her security and love and respect. He bought a home. He sold his home in Haines City. He purchased a home in Lake Wales, where they both were to start that new life together. And he used the proceeds from his house in Haines City and bought the house in Lake Wales, borrowed from family members in order to raise the money to purchase that home, to start that new life with Lisa Bunce. And then in December of 2017, Lisa Bunce moved into that home with Mr. Murdock. Mr. Murdock, so in love, so wanting to, he's finally found his life partner, the partner that he's going to spend the rest of his days with, puts Lisa Bunce's name on the deed of the house. Miss Bunce, at that point in time, had been estranged from her husband, was still going through a divorce, puts her name on the deed to the house, wanting to start a life, thinking he had found his life partner. And then 6 months, 7 months later, Miss Bunce rents a U-Haul, brings that group of friends with her to move out her things, along with some of Mr. Murdock's things as well. And Mr. Murdock actually is assisting in helping load this U-Haul, thinking that he's going to shortly follow Miss Bunce to Ohio and live together happily in Ohio. He actually celebrated, had a social gathering that same day that Miss Bunce was loading up that U-Haul. And then she left. And then Mr. Murdock gets a text from Miss Bunce, breaking the relationship, severing the relationship. Mr. Murdock's heart was broken. He was devastated. He was humiliated. I ask that each and every one of you, because your job from now forward is not for what I'm saying or the state saying, but it's to judge the evidence, listen to the evidence, listen to all of the witnesses' testimony. Because you're going to be able to judge that and weigh that at the end of the case. And let me also say this, it is not lost upon the parties, the attorneys, the court, that you have expended not only a large amount of your time thus far, but will be expending a large amount of your time listening to the evidence in this case. We appreciate that. Because at the end of this case, I'm going to stand before you once again and ask that you not find Mr. Murdock guilty of premeditated murder. And we submit that the facts will support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Toomey. Counsel, would you approach off the record, just housekeeping? Ladies and gentlemen, it's nearing 10 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and take our mid-morning recess before the first witness is called. Please don't talk about the case, look anything up, and please leave your notepads in the chairs.
All rise.
Make sure you leave your notepads in the seats. Whenever you're ready, follow me.
You may be seated.
We'll take 15 minutes.